Hello, Dr. Quack here. Uh-huh. No, that is not true at all. Come down here right away and I'll explain it to you. Okay, see you soon. That was Adrian, one of the neighborhood kids. She said kids at school have been telling her that the Earth is 1,000,000 years old and that humans are related to monkeys. Have you ever heard anyone say this? Well, stick around for a while, and I'll teach you why this simply is not true. Welcome back, kids. Today, we have a lot of important things to talk about. But first, let's introduce you to my assistant, Dizzy Izzy. Dizzy Izzy! I said, Dizzy Izzy!
You called?
Yes, I did. Today, we're going to teach our friends at home all about the mystery of the Earth's history and how it was created.
Awesome!
Oh, that must be Adrian. She called me earlier. A lot of the kids at school have been telling her that the Earth is 1,000,000 years old.
And I bet that they said we're related to monkeys, too.
They certainly did. Oh, let's get the door.
I'll get it.
Hello, Adrian. I'm so glad that you called.
I'm so confused, Dr. Quack. Kids at school have been saying that the Earth started out as a big explosion, and that people are related to monkeys, and that all this happened millions and millions of years ago. But my Sunday school teacher says that God created the world and formed human beings, and made all the animals and plants. So who is right?
Well, this can be confusing for a lot of kids, but there is a place that has the answers.
Where's that?
Right here in the Bible.
Really?
Really. Give me your backpack. There is a lot we need to talk about.
The first thing that's important to understand is that Christians believe that the Bible is truth. Nothing is in here that is wrong.
I believe that.
Now, in the first book of the Bible, it talks about how God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh.
That's the book of Genesis, right?
That's right, Dizzy Izzy. Now let's take a look at what God created on each day.
That would be great.
On the first day of creation, God created darkness and light.
And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good. He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
On the second day of creation, God created the water and the sky.
And God said, "Let there be an expanse between the waters to separate water from water." God called the expanse sky.
On the third day of creation, God created the land and the plants.
And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered in one place, and let dry ground appear." God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds."
On the fourth day of creation, God created the sun, moon, and stars.
And God said, "Let there be lights in the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark seasons and days and years." God made 2 great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night.
On the 5th day of creation, God created the birds and the fish.
And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of sky."
On the 6th day of creation, God created animals and man.
And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, livestock, creatures that move along the ground, and wild animals, each according to its own kind." Then God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female. He created them.
By the 7th day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the 7th day, he rested. God blessed the 7th day and made it holy.
Now, I believe this, but some of my friends don't believe in God or the Bible. Is there any way for me to prove to them that it's true?
Well, only God was there when it happened, so only he knows. But for the same reason, you can't prove that the Big Bang happened either. Now, we as Christians believe the Bible to be God's holy word, and that what the Bible says is true.
Some of my friends keep using the word evolution. What does that mean?
Actually, it's the theory of evolution.
What does theory mean?
A theory is an idea of how or why something happens. And evolution is when one thing changes into another thing.
So then the theory of evolution is just someone's idea of how the earth got here from the beginning until now, right?
That's a good way of putting it.
Who came up with this idea?
A man named Charles Darwin. He started telling people that God didn't create anything, that man came from an ape, and an ape from another creature, and that creature walked out of the sea after growing legs, and that all life started in the water as little tiny organisms.
That makes no sense.
I know, but that didn't stop people from believing him.
So where did this Darwin guy say that these tiny little organisms came from?
That is a great question. Where did these little organisms come from? And the water that they lived in?
And how did all these little organisms know how to grow into all these other creatures and then into apes and men?
Can one kind of creature change into another?
No one has been able to prove that they can. The Bible talks about different kinds of animals, like dogs, cats, birds. But within the different kinds of animals, there's also different types.
You mean like different types of dogs?
Exactly. The dog is the kind of animal, but a pug, terrier, Dalmatian, those are different types. So, different types of dogs can have puppies together and make a whole new type. For example, a golden retriever can have a puppy with a poodle, and they're called a golden doodle.
You're making that up.
Nope, that's what they're called. But the point is that dogs can never have kittens and cats can never have puppies. There can be lots of changes within a kind, but we have never seen an animal have a baby that's not of the same kind.
But isn't that the idea of evolution? Things changing from one thing to a totally different thing?
Yep, evolution rests on the theory that this could happen. Remember that little organism we talked about? It would have had to change into something completely different over and over and over again. Does it really seem possible that that little organism would have enough information to make every living creature in the whole world?
Sounds impossible to me.
Yeah, me too.
I have so many questions.
Then ask away. Any question at all.
Okay, if dinosaurs were so big, how could they fit on the ark? And was there really even a flood?
Those are some good questions. Let's start with the flood. Almost everyone has heard the story of Noah and his ark. But a lot of people think it's just that, a story. They don't believe that it's true. Not only did God tell Noah to build the ark, he told him just how big to make it.
The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits.
It must have taken a long time to get all the animals together.
Not really. The animals actually came to him.
Of the birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. 2 of every kind will come to you, to keep them alive.
Do you remember when we talked about different kinds of animals and different types of animals?
Yes.
Well, a dog is a kind of animal, which means, according to the Bible, only one pair of dogs got on the ark. Not every type of dog.
So you mean there weren't a pair of chihuahuas, a pair of poodles, and a pair of huskies?
Nope, they're all different types. God only ordered 2 of each kind.
Wow, that just made a lot more room on the ark. Now, what about those big dinosaurs?
Ah, yes, the dinosaurs. How did dinosaurs fit on Noah's ark?
I don't think dinosaurs existed during biblical times.
I don't think dinosaurs were around back then.
I have no idea how dinosaurs fit on Noah's Ark.
I think dinosaurs fit on Noah's Ark because they all squeezed in.
I think dinosaurs fit on Noah's Ark because when they were babies.
Dinosaurs were babies when they fit on Noah's Ark.
Baby dinosaurs weren't very big at all, so they had no trouble fitting on the ark.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, what do you think happened to the dinosaurs?
Well, no one knows for sure, but they probably became endangered and then became extinct.
Just like the dodo bird.
The what?
The dodo bird. This bird lived 400 years ago, but it's not around anymore.
Why not?
Well, the forests that it lived in were destroyed by people, and it couldn't find any more food. And animals attacked the dodo's nests and ate the eggs. Eventually, they all disappeared.
So you think that's what happened to the dinosaurs?
Well, if it could happen to animals and it could happen to birds, it certainly could have happened to the dinosaurs.
Speaking of birds and dinosaurs, the last time I went to the museum, there was this exhibit that said that the dinosaurs changed into birds. What's all this about?
Well, some scientists want us to believe that the birds we see today are related to the dinosaurs.
That's just crazy.
Well, they think that if this could be true, then so could evolution.
But birds and dinosaurs weren't even created on the same day. How could they be related?
That's exactly right. It's easy to see similarities in all different parts of creation because the same God created all the plants and animals. But some people who believe in evolution or other beliefs may try to convince us that they are right. But you need to remember what we believe as Christians, that God created the world. And it's important for us to love and respect others just like Jesus did. And if you have any questions, the answers are in the Bible. Is this helping you out, Adrian?
Oh, yeah.
Any more questions?
Oh, yeah.
Well, go ahead. Ask away.
What's natural selection?
Natural selection is when changes occur within a certain kind of animal.
Isn't that the same thing as evolution?
No, 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 no.
What's the difference?
Well, they both have to do with change. It's true. But here's what makes them different. Evolution means that something changes into something totally different over and over and over again. Do you remember the little organism we talked about?
That was supposed to change into everything and then into a human?
That's the one. Evolutionists believe that something can change into something entirely different. Now, natural selection, that's a different story.
How?
Well, the changes that occur in natural selection stay within a certain kind of animal.
You mean like dogs?
That's right. Natural selection is a mechanism that God uses to allow living things to deal with their changing environments.
Huh?
Let me try to make this a little easier to understand. Do you remember when all the animals got off of the ark?
They ended up scattered across the world, right?
That's right. Different places in the world have different temperatures.
So,
The dogs that ended up where it was very, very cold eventually grew longer, thicker, warmer coats of fur, which helped them survive. And the dogs that ended up where it was warm, well, their coats didn't get so long, so they could stay cool.
So there are changes, but something doesn't change into something else.
That's right. It's kind of like camouflage. What is camouflage?
I think camouflage is something that helps you to blend into society.
I think camouflage is something that helps you blend in.
Camouflage is something that helps you blend in with things around you. Camouflage means whenever you blend into things. Camouflage means when you blend in.
Camouflage means when you can blend into something.
Wow, those kids are pretty smart. God gave some animals the gift of camouflage, the ability to blend in with your surroundings. The chameleon, for example, can change colors to match anything it's sitting on. It can be green if it's sitting in the grass, or brown if it's on a stick. This is so it can't be seen by a predator. A predator is an animal who wants to eat it. Oh, no! Also, some butterflies have marks on the back of their wings that look like big eyes. This confuses a predator, and instead of eating the butterfly's body, it takes a big bite of the wing, which gives the butterfly a chance to escape.
Cool!
Do you guys want to see something really cool?
Yeah,
Do you know what archaeology is?
kind of.
Archaeology is the study of material remains from past human life and activities.
that's when people dig up old things out of the ground.
That's right. Those people are called archaeologists. Did you know archaeologists have discovered some things that are mentioned in the Bible?
Really?
They sure have.
Like what?
Well, parts of buildings have been found, items with the names of the kings written on them have been found, even something called the Dead Sea Scrolls.
I've heard about those, but I don't know what they are.
Well, over 60 years ago, a young shepherd who lived near Jerusalem was following a goat who had gone astray. He threw a rock into one of the nearby caves along the sea cliffs and heard a cracking sound. The rock had hit a ceramic pot containing leather and papyrus scrolls, later determined to be over 2,000 years old.
What was on these scrolls?
Well, parts of the Bible and information on how people lived back then. These scrolls match up with what we read in the Bible today. They're basically the oldest Bible that exists.
Wow!
What's on these scrolls was written when it happened. So we know that the Bible's not only a story, it's true.
Cool!
I hope this is helping you, Adrian.
It sure is.
Did you know that there are thousands of examples that suggest our world and everything in it was created by an intelligent designer?
Could you tell me some of these examples and I could share them with other kids?
Sure! Let's start with our Earth. For human beings to survive, the Earth has to be a certain temperature, not too hot or too cold. That means the Earth has to be tilted just a certain way. Otherwise, some parts would be too close to the sun and too hot, or too far away from the sun and too cold. Also, the Earth has to spin at a certain speed so that gravity can work properly. It has to have air with exactly the right amount of oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. All the things that we need to live and breathe. And it has to have exactly the right kinds of food and water for us to eat and drink to keep our bodies healthy and working properly.
I don't think all that could have happened by itself.
Me neither. Let me show you something. I'm going to show you just how important proper speed is. But first, we need a can. Next, we need some water. Stay right here a second. I'm going to pour the water into the can. Now, if I can spin the can at just the right speed, the water should stay inside. Let me show you. In this experiment, the can is just like the Earth, and we are like the water. You two better duck down for this one. Here we go. Whoa! This is just like the Earth spinning while we're on it. Let's see what happens if I slow it down a tad. Ooh, that didn't work very well at all. Let's see what happens if I spin it really fast. Whoa! I'm glad the Earth doesn't spin that fast. If it did, we'd all go flying into outer space. Whoa! Woo! Let's go over what God created on which day. What did God create on the first day?
He created darkness and light.
What did God create on the second day?
God created the water and the sky.
What did God create on the third day?
If you said the land and the plants, you're right.
What did God create on the fourth day?
He created the sun, moon, and the stars.
What did God create on the fifth day?
That's when God created the fish and the birds.
What did God create on the sixth day?
If you said the animals and man, you're right.
What did God create on the seventh day?
That's a trick question. God didn't create anything on the seventh day. That's when he rested.
You're right. I was just seeing if you were paying attention.
Yes, I was.
Do you know what else you need to pay attention to?
What?
the time. I think you better head home so your ma doesn't worry.
You're right. But first, I need to find my backpack.
Oops.
Remember, kids, if you have a question on how the earth was created, all the answers are right here. Right in the Bible. Remember, the world is full of fascinating things to learn about. And since God created the world, He is the ultimate scientist. We'll see you next time right here on Super Simple Science Stuff.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That's science.